Hello, welcome back to Reboot Your Thoughts podcast with myself, Aileen. I'm on one again this week. Can't believe that we're on episode 3 already. Thought I'd do a quick roundup of the last week. Not much has changed. Just been planning the next few weeks' podcasts and looking at new premises for my business. So fingers crossed, see where that goes. Which will also, in turn, be a new recording studio, hopefully, if it all turns out. If not, I'll keep looking. Moving forward, I thought I'd give all you listeners your opportunity to have your say on what you would like me to talk about. Obviously, it's mainly about mental health, things that you might need some advice on, different situations, different scenarios in life. It can be about work, personal life, social life, anything at all. If you want me to give some advice on it, or if you want to know where to look for advice, you can write into us on any of the social media pages. You can also email in on rebootyourthoughtspodcast@gmail.com, which is where you would email for anything to do with the podcast at all. That includes any businesses, any true stories, anything that you want us to talk about or want some interaction on. I'm going to just follow up from what we were talking about last week. We were talking about summer holidays and not judging people, different things, but I'm going to look at it from a different side of things now. So let's talk about body confidence. Body confidence will come easy to some and not so easy to others. There are many people who will struggle with feeling confident, especially during the summer when we're wearing lighter clothes in the warmer weather. We're not wearing big jumpers, big jackets, scarves, etc. that will hide what we see as our flaws. People looking at us might not think it's a flaw. They might think you're beautiful as you are. But it's about what's going on in the inside. What's going on in your head, what's going on in that person's head. Keep in mind that because you feel confident, it doesn't necessarily mean your best friend feels confident, or the person in the same swimming pool as you, or the person on the beach, your child, your sister, your brother, your partner, could be anybody. Be kind with your words. If they're asking for advice on what to wear, you don't want to make them feel any worse than what they already feel. And somebody can come across as being very confident. It doesn't always mean that that's how they're feeling on the inside. Some people are very good at putting on an act, so your words can still sting. They can take them to heart and they'll overthink those words. So I guess it's just, let's all take care of each other. Let's all be kind to each other. Be kind with your thoughts. Be kind with your criticisms. Nobody's saying that you can't say a negative, but it's how you word that. So if someone was maybe trying something on, it was maybe a size or two too small for them, you don't want to say that it doesn't suit them or it doesn't look good. You could just gently say, well, maybe if it was a bit looser, maybe if it was a different size, sometimes it's a bit more comfortable. Because you've also got to remember that not all shops sizing is the same. You could go into one shop and be a size 12, go into the next shop and be a size 16. You could go in and be a medium and be a double XL somewhere else. So just because the sizing on the label changes doesn't mean the actual size of the clothes is changing. So that's something else to bear in mind. So don't take the size of clothes that you're having to buy as a guide to whether you've put on weight, because it's not always the case. Sometimes it's just the way they make the clothes, unfortunately, and it's quite upsetting. Also, the mirrors in the changing room can make a huge impact on how you feel about what you're wearing. Not all mirrors are very flattering. Doesn't mean to say that your body's changed. It just means that they are using different mirrors that make you look slightly different. They're maybe a bit warped or whatever, for whatever reason. We'll not talk on body confidence too much at this minute because there's quite a few things to do with summer that I'd quite like to talk about. We can go back to body confidence in many other episodes because it's not something that just affects people during the summer. It affects us all year round. It can affect how we socialise, it can affect how we eat, it can affect what we drink, it can affect where we go, who we go with, etc. You get the picture. So we will go back on that one again at a later date. But for now, please don't judge your appearance on how anybody else looks. We're all beautiful. It doesn't matter whether you're big, small, in between. You are beautiful as you are. And what's going on the inside will reflect on what's going on the outside. If you don't feel confident, it may show. If you don't feel confident, put on an act if you have to until you can get to a headspace where you do feel confident, because you should always feel confident as you are and not as other people look or how you think other people see you. You're unique. We're all unique. We're all unique in our own skin. We're all unique in our own heads. And just enjoy being you and love yourself for what you are, who you are. As long as you're kind, as long as you're not hurting anybody else, you're an amazing person. And always bear that in mind. Summer holidays, again, doesn't matter whether you're on holiday or at home. Reiterate stranger danger to your kids. Everybody gets a fear when they go on holiday about what could possibly go wrong, but it doesn't always happen in foreign countries. It can happen right on your doorstep. We've heard it so many times on the radio, on the news, in papers, on social media about potential strangers approaching kids, or worse, which we won't talk about because we don't want to affect anybody. But if you have gone through any kind of situation, just ensure that you are speaking to the right people. If you don't know who to speak to, contact myself. I can point you in the right direction, or I can help you through my counselling services. But yeah, stranger danger. Remind children that somebody that's got a puppy isn't always a nice person. They could be using that to entice them. Not to take sweets. Not to stop if a car stops to ask them for directions. Not to engage in any conversation with someone who they don't know, especially if they're on their own. Not every stranger is a bad person, but you don't want them to take that risk. It's maybe okay for them to talk to a stranger if mum, dad, gran, aunt, uncle's there, right beside them, but not when they're on their own, because it just takes that split second for something to go wrong. And if they don't have any witnesses, they don't have anybody there to go and ask for help, then we wouldn't want to imagine what could happen. So yeah, just reiterate stranger danger. Remind them to, if they do feel as if there is a stranger approaching them, or a stranger trying to manipulate them or whatever, go and ask for help. Go into a shop, go chap a door, do whatever they have to do. Scream. If they've got a phone, they could phone while they're running, hopefully. You also get these trackers that you can get on the phone. You can get the watches, etc. Have a tracker on their phones if they've got a phone, just so that you can always know where they are. Better to be safe than sorry, I guess. But again, we don't want to be morbid, so we'll not stay on that one too long either. Skincare. And I'm sure many people can't be bothered putting on skin lotions constantly, but it is there to protect you. Using skin lotions with a high factor on it, yes, that's the best one to use, but it doesn't mean that you only put it on the once because it's a high factor. You still have to keep reapplying it. You still have to ensure that your whole body's covered. If you go in the water, even if it's water resistant, waterproof, you still want to layer up again when you come back out, because we don't actually know how much has come off when we're in the water. We don't know how bad it's going to affect our skin, because everybody's skin's different. You might have fair skin, you might have dark skin, that doesn't matter. Everybody's skin is delicate. Anybody's at risk of skin cancer. Everybody's at risk of burning. If you burn and you peel, then you're going to be in a bit of pain as well, apart from anything else. And obviously the signs of skin cancer may not show straight away. It could be years down the line, but you want to protect yourself, especially the younger ones, especially as they're not able to put it on themselves. They're not going to think about that. They just want to have fun. They just want to be jumping in and out the pool. They just want to run about, eat ice creams, drink lots of juice, have ice lollies, but you need to remind them that they need to put their cream on, especially on the parts that are exposed, i.e. their face, the back of their necks, because I know a lot of people forget back of neck, feet, etc. So yeah, just stay safe in all ways that you can while on holiday, not just on a holiday though, because obviously we can sometimes in the UK get good weather, not very often, but we do sometimes. Maybe not so much in Scotland. If we get a day, we're happy. On the subject of skincare and jumping in and out the pool safety. If your little one is not very confident in the pool or not a strong swimmer, then you want to ensure they've got either armbands on at all times, whether they're in the pool or not, or you can get swimsuits that have got the padding built in, the floats built in. Have something like that, because it just takes that one time where they lose their footing around the pool and they fall in. You want them to be able to stay afloat and then not panic too much. If the pools are busy, again, almost goes back to the stranger danger thing, where you want your kids to be aware of who's round about. You want them to remember where mum and dad or gran and granddad, aunt, uncle, friends, whoever they're down at the pool with, you want them to remember where you're sitting, so that if they are in any kind of danger, if they are a bit worried, if they do need you for any reason at all, they know exactly where to go and that you're not going to move. So there's lots of things around the pool safety, and it's not just the falling in the pool, it's not just the being in the water, it's also who's round about, it's also the skincare. So it all kind of ties in together. Your skincare when you come out the pool, your floats, your armbands, etc. when you're in the pool and out the pool. When the children are playing in the pool with maybe some new friends, you want them to make sure that they know exactly where they can be in the pool and where's too deep for them, especially younger ones that are maybe 7, 8, 9, who potentially aren't strong enough to swim up to the deep end, and it would obviously be too deep for them to stand. You don't want them to go that far up. Maybe go in with whatever adult they're with to begin with, just to see how far they can go, how far they feel confident. If they could always just stay around the edging so that they've got something to grab onto if they feel as if they're getting out of their depth. Just reiterate it to them every time you go down to the pool, because we all know children have short memories. Sometimes. Depends what their memories you're asking them to remember. But we all know that the minute they get excited, they'll forget what you've told them. So just reiterate as often as possible so that they don't forget. When you're on holiday, you can get a lot of scams. Sometimes it's when you're on markets. Sometimes it's on the street. I don't know if you get it as much, but you used to get people that would try and sell you timeshares, etc. I don't think you get that as much now or at all. But just beware of holiday scams. Even before you go on holiday, you might be booking a private villa via somebody you don't know. Be careful when you're transferring money. If they want you to do a bank transfer, ensure that you are choosing the right option when you're passing that money through. For example, you don't want to pass it through as family, friends, etc. You want to pass it through as you are paying for an item, or you're paying for a service, or however it may be labelled in your banking app. If they ask you to pay through PayPal, you do not pay as family and friends, you pay as you're purchasing something. Never give cash. Ensure that you've done your research. Make sure that this is a legitimate villa and it's the actual owners that you're booking it from and not a scam. And that's not just villas, you can get that with holiday parks. There's been quite a few scams in the last few years of people renting out or saying they're renting out caravans in holiday parks within the UK. The caravan exists, but that person doesn't own that caravan. So that can be very upsetting if you're turning up to the caravan park with your excited children to find out that you don't actually have a holiday booked. You've got no money now because all the money that you've saved up, your hard-earned money that you've saved up throughout the year, has gone to a lovely scammer, and then it's going to your bank to try and get the money back. But what do you do in the meantime, because the kids are let down? And how do you explain to the kids that it's not a nice person that you've booked the caravan through, and there's no holiday at the end of it. So just be aware, not everybody's trustworthy, but not everybody isn't. At the beginning of the podcast, I mentioned that I was looking at new premises for my business. I'm not entirely sure what size I'm looking for or what I'm looking for. Do I want something on a main road? Do I want it off the beaten track? I'm not 100%. Currently I say I work from home. I do the office work from home. Everything else is done out with in various locations. But I'm thinking that maybe now's the time that I want everything in the one place, under the one roof, instead of running about tracing my tail. But that doesn't mean that everything would change within my business. So I'm not sure how many people know, but currently I offer counselling, life coaching, wellness coaching for businesses, hoppy ear candling, cupping therapy, hot stone massage, and Indian head massage. I think that's everything at the minute, but there is a few more things coming over the coming months. So yeah, it's packing my car up every time and ensuring I've got enough products with me for each appointment. When you're doing counselling, life coaching, etc., you don't actually need too much, diary, notebook, etc. But sometimes you might need a therapy bed and a therapy chair. You might need cups for 3 appointments, stones for 2 appointments, because obviously they need to be sterilised after each appointment, etc. So yeah, it can be a lot. So I'm thinking that now's the time to bite the bullet and find premises. But I was looking at premises today, and although they are in a perfect location for me because they're almost on my doorstep, I'm not sure if either of them are actually right at this moment, if that makes sense. One of them was absolutely perfect. I've got it planned out in my head. I've already furnished it in my head. I know how the layout's going to be, etc. But it's maybe just a little too big for me at the minute. But then on the other hand, the other one I looked at was small, but still a decent size. I would still be able to do everything in it, fit everything in. But my only downside was ventilation. There's not enough ventilation for what I'm doing. So it's that catch-22. What do you do? Do you continue as you are? Or do I bite the bullet? Do I keep looking? I don't know. If anybody's got any suggestions, then fire away, because at the minute my brain is overwhelmed with it all. It's your heart and your head. Heart says one thing, head says another. So my heart's saying, yeah, just go for that big one. Just go for the bigger one that you've already planned out in your head. You've got all the furniture, you know exactly what colours you want to do, you know where you're going to put everything, where the recording equipment's going to go, where the therapy equipment's going to go, etc. But then my head's saying, don't be daft. You don't need anything that big. It's very, very daunting. And then obviously there's the financial side of it. Although it's not as expensive as I thought it was going to be. It's still expensive. So when you're paying for that, then you're paying everything else on top. It's a lot. So yeah, I don't know. I might have an update next week. I might still be in the same predicament. We'll find out. I suppose this one's to be continued, just like everything else in my life. I'm not the best at making decisions for myself. I can help everybody else. I'm amazing at giving advice. I'm amazing at looking outside the box, and I can help you get yourself out of any situation. But when I have to make a decision, and it can be making food at night, it could be, do I want to tie my hair up? Do I want to have my hair down? Like, simple decisions I cannot make for myself. I'd rather somebody else made my decisions, and I can make everybody else's for them. So if you're up for that job, then email me, because main decision making for Aileen is not the one, especially not when you're menopausal and you've got brain fog and you forget half the stuff anyway, which is where I'm at just now, which is fantastic. Yeah, menopause comes with its own dilemmas, but we'll not go into that. We'll not bore you with the whole menopause thing, so that's not a topic that's on the list today. That's just a topic for Aileen and her our best friend to moan about together because we're both going through it together. Let's talk about your business. If you're in business, how did you decide to go with the business that you've got? What made you get into it? What made you locate where you are? What is your business? And do you love it? Do you loathe it? Is it just a job? Is it a passion? I feel like I've had many jobs over the years that I've absolutely loved, but they've not been the one. I've had a couple of self-employed jobs. I've had a couple of businesses. I still have all my businesses bar one. The only reason I don't have that anymore is because I have issues with my hands. So I used to be a printer. I have issues with my hands, so I can't really do so much of the hands-on making products, making prints, making gifts, etc. So I had to retrain, rebrand, everything. But the job that I do now, I absolutely love, and it's definitely the one that I was always meant to do. It's the job that I love, helping people. I'm a people person. If I was in a customer service job, I'd be in my element, because I like to help. I like to be a problem solver. I love problem solving. My friend from school, she used to always say, you should definitely be a counsellor. You're always helping everybody else, blah, blah, blah. And I used to laugh it off. But now that I do it, I can see why she said it. And I'll forever be grateful for her saying it, because maybe if she hadn't planted that seed, I would never have thought about it. But yeah, I love it. If you do have a business and you want to talk about it, if you want to come on the podcast and talk, come on, just send us an email, send us a message. We'll get you on to talk. If you would like to advertise on the podcast, there are packages available. There's also sponsorship packages available if you would like to sponsor the podcast, and you can do it for as little or as long as you see fit, as you would like to, as you can afford, etc. You can do it on a weekly basis, you can do it on a monthly basis, quarterly, etc. There's packages for everybody and for everybody's budget. Are you looking to start your own business, or have you just started a business and you're not really sure what you're doing, where to go, how to get traction, etc.? There's plenty of places that can give you advice, free advice, paid advice, whatever. Again, I do coaching for businesses, so that is an option for you. But there are other places, and if you are not in a position to, within your budget, to employ a coach, I can still help you. I can still point you in the right direction. So don't think that just because you don't want to employ myself as a coach, then I'm not going to help. Of course I will. Again, just email in to the podcast on rebootyourthoughts@gmail.com, or you can again get me on any of the social medias. We have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, which you can get us on more or less 24/7, unless I'm asleep. You won't get me if I'm asleep, because once I'm out, I'm out. I don't have any true stories from any listeners in this week, but since we've been talking about summer holidays, stranger danger, etc., I'll give you one of my stories. I think I was 15, possibly 16. I'd either just turned 15 that week or 16. I can't remember. I was on a family holiday. We were in Portugal, which my whole family absolutely love. We went quite a few times. So there was myself, my mum, my dad, my brother, my cousin, my aunt and my uncle. But me and my cousin, there's only like 10 months I think between the two of us, 9-10 months. So we were almost brought up like sisters. We were inseparable for most of our life until we became adults and found boyfriends, etc, etc. But yeah, so this night we went out, parents went home to the apartments, and we said, oh, it's okay, we'll get a taxi back home, we'll be absolutely fine, don't worry about it. And because we did know quite a lot of people in the area at that time, we had a lot of friends that owned businesses, etc, the parents allowed us to do it. And we were quite streetwise as well, to be fair. But yeah, so we were very drunk, or should I say I was very drunk. My cousin was, but not quite as bad as me, because I used to be quite greedy when it came to drink when I was younger, not so much now. But yeah, so we got the taxi back, but we realised as we got to the apartments that our money was in the room, because any money we took out with us, we'd obviously spent, because that's what you do, isn't it? You take a budget out with you for the night. So my cousin decided, oh, you stay in the taxi, I'll run up to the room, I'll get the money. That was absolutely fine, we thought. She got out of, sorry, I'm trying not to laugh, but she got out of the taxi. She started to walk towards the apartments, which it was one of the complexes where you have like 3 or 4 multi-storey buildings. It's almost like multi-storey flats. And so it was quite a big complex. So she went to go and up to the apartments to get the money. And as she was walking away, the taxi driver started driving away with me in the car. And I'm looking out the back window as if to say, I think this could be my time up. I mean, I don't know where this guy's taking me. It was also very dark and you couldn't see where the road led to. She was looking as if to say, do I go and get the money? Do I go and get help? Do I chase the taxi? But she left me in the taxi and she just kept going up to the room. Now, luckily, obviously, because I'm here to tell the tale, the taxi driver was only turning the taxi and nothing bad happened to me. But if it did, what would have happened? Like, how would she have explained that to everybody? Oh, I just left Aileen in that taxi and I went to get some money. Like, the reception area was closer. Could you not, do I not matter? Does nobody care about Aileen? Just, Aileen's drunk. Aileen can just disappear. So yeah, that's my true story from holiday, and hopefully you take that into account when you're out and about. Don't leave your friend in the taxi, or your cousin, or your sister, brother, whoever, in a taxi, just in case the taxi driver drives away, because it might not be as nice as the taxi driver I had, and they might keep driving. But yeah, then it's just ever since became a funny story for the whole family about how Aileen was almost abducted in a taxi, steaming drunk, and didn't really have a care in the world, because I don't even think I knew whether it was New Year or New York. But yeah, me and my cousin have got quite a few tales, which I'll maybe add in. I'll maybe even get her on and we can tell some stories together. If she's brave enough to come on, we'll maybe do that. Because we were a bit of a... Yeah, we were kind of rebellious, I suppose. Not bad rebellious, but if you weren't supposed to do it, we've probably done it. And now there's a running joke that I've got 2 sons that are quite quiet. They're not... It's not that they're not social, they just don't go out partying and things like that, but they are social. But everybody makes a joke about how my sons are so quiet compared to what I was growing up and as a young adult. And they'll say, how did you get 2 boys like that? I've got no answers. I don't know. Maybe my karma's still to come back and get me. We will wait and see. We will hold on to those thoughts, because one of them's still only a teenager. There's still time. And none of them have been abroad on their own yet. So maybe that one's still to come for me. We will see. I'm trying to think of any more stories that I could tell that are PG enough to tell on here. I'll give you one more. And again, it was a night out, but this night I was actually sober because I was driving, and it's always been my thing. Don't drink and drive. Don't even have one drink. Don't touch anything. Nothing when you're driving, because I would never ever forgive myself if anything happened to anybody, if I was behind the wheel of a car and something happened. Anyway, so everybody else was drinking, enjoying themselves. We were in the nightclub. We came out the nightclub and we were going to an after party at somebody's house. Couldn't even tell you whose house it was anymore. So long ago, I think I was 18 or 19 at the time. 18 maybe. Yeah, and I'm not very good in the dark. I can't see the best in daylight. I am blind as a bat. Even with my glasses on, I still... And that's not to say that my glasses are the wrong strength, because I get them checked. and I got them checked the other day and they're definitely right, but nope, I'm as blind as a bat. So this night, everybody was over at the shop getting food after being in the nightclub, and I says, oh, I'll go and get the car, I'll turn it, we'll come and get you, I'll meet you, blah blah blah. But do you know, you get the islands in the road and they've maybe got like the little yellow thing that's supposed to light up but never ever lights up, and it's maybe got a lamppost or whatever in the middle of it. Yeah, I didn't see that, and everybody just seen a car flying up in the air, landed on 4 wheels, might I say so. I do think I'm that's quite good for me, because again, I'm not the best driver either, as you can tell by this story. Everybody turned round when they heard the car landing on the 4 wheels, and they were like, what the hell just happened there? And of course my cousin's like, oh, that's just my cousin trying to drive. But it wasn't my fault. I maintain it wasn't my fault, because there was no lights, there was nothing to light up that island in the middle of the road, so how was I to know it was there? I mean, I know I should have seen it because it's a great big pavement in the middle of the road, but it should have been lit up. So technically, in my defence, that's not my fault. What do you think? Who do you think's to blame? Me or the island stroke council, or whoever it is that deals with the roads and the lighting and the whatever else? Personally, I think it's everybody else's fault, not mine, but that's my answer to everything. I take the blame for nothing, and even if I'm in the wrong, I'm right. Even if I'm guilty, I'm not guilty. And that's just the way I go about life. I'll sometimes admit if I'm wrong. Not often, because I'm very rarely wrong. So there's no need for me to admit it if I didn't do it. Anyway, I think this is just going to be another short one. I don't think you want to listen to my lovely Scottish accent for too long on my own. I'll maybe try and get somebody on next week. There's a few people that do want to come on. I've just not arranged exact dates for different reasons. I don't want anybody to feel replaced. I don't want any negativity. But if you do have your own true story, funny, sad, something you're angry about, something you want to just get off your chest that's been lingering for too long, might be something that you want advice on, everything will be in confidence. Your name, your personal details, etc. won't ever be given out. Write in. Again, you can do it by email. You can do it through social media. Obviously not on the wall, in messages. Send it in a message on social media, or send an email, and I will reply to you straight away, or as soon as I can, if I'm working, obviously. If you would like to appear on the podcast, let us know what you want to come on and talk about. If it's something that was not being spoken about, or that's going to benefit the audience, etc., then yeah, we can have a talk. If you would like me to test any products, if you would like me to show off any of your products, which we can do on all our social medias. I also have YouTube, etc. Yeah, write in. We're interested. We're here to help everybody. Like, this is the thing about business and about mental health and anything to do with, I suppose, everyday life. We all need to be there for each other. We all need to help each other. Everybody needs a helping hand sometime, regardless of how much you want to put your wall up, regardless of how much you think that you can do everything for yourself. Nobody can do everything themselves. We all need help at some time. So if you need help to get your business noticed, if you need help with any issue within your personal life, your working life, if you think that your work needs a wellness coach, point your manager or your boss, whoever, CEO, whoever it is, in my direction. Or if you don't want to speak to them, I can speak to them again confidentially on your behalf and just offer my services if they think they need them. But yes, get in touch with anything that you want to talk about, anything that you feel you would like to share with the audience, or if you would like to book an appointment with myself, if you contact the podcast, I will give you the details. I will give you all the information that you need. I will give you contact details for my therapy business, phone number, email, whatever it is you're looking for, and we can take it from there. But for now, I will go. Let you all go on with the rest of your night, day, depending on when you're listening to this. And I will be back next Wednesday about 7 p.m. Take care.